And welcome you all to the last class, our very last class. The fifth one. I know there will be more. There will be more. Um, Not of this particular series, but there will be more Qigong. I am moving, not out of Ashland, but I'm moving to a new house, new place uh, at the end of next week, at the end of this month. So I'm taking a little break from teaching because I just need to get settled and all set up in a new place. And so, yes, that get a sense once I get my schedule kind of set and just my space kind of set. I'll send out information about more opportunities for practice and for classes. But today, my primary goal is to get you guys in a place where you feel comfortable with all the material. And not only feel comfortable with it, but feel comfortable thinking about how you might, drop some of it into your daily life. So it's not like, oh, I have to follow a whole video of Lori, but you can just pick and choose little bits to do as you see fit and as fits in your schedule. So we'll talk more about that. And I was just going to say, and we're going to have time for lots of questions. So Stephanie, I see you've got a question. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I was wondering if you're going to keep the video available because I was trying to do it without it out in the world and I forgot some of the moves and it'd be really helpful.
Those will be available to you as long as Google and YouTube are still available to us
Okay.
because those are where it's housed right now. And so I used to say, yeah, they're forever. And it's like, well, yeah, they're forever as long as YouTube and Google are still around. So yeah, no, you have access to all that material indefinitely. So yes, my goal is to have you be able to really practice and utilize it, whether it's tomorrow or 2 years from now. The other thing is today, after a little bit of question and answer, we're just going to flow through all the material. So you'll have a section of video where we've flowed through all the material. And so you can always use that to practice with as a flow through. And, and then we'll have a discussion at the end more about how to apply and implement and integrate the material. Also on Monday at 1, I'll be teaching the last one that I have scheduled anyway of the drop-in classes. So if anybody wants to do that Monday, it'll basically be this routine that we'll go through tonight, with maybe a few little exceptions, but a lot of it. So if you want another review, try and jump in on Monday. I know that time doesn't work for everybody, but if it does, that's awesome. So let me just share screen and just kind of remind us a few things before I jump into questions. But some of this might stimulate some questions. That's part of the reason I'm doing it. Like I said, just weekly overview. Week 5 is really all about integration and review. And I just want to review a little bit more about what we talked about last week in terms of the new material. And that was that whole section we did of kind of integrating and connecting to nature's energies, and especially starting out the elements, the 5 elements that are traditional to Chinese medicine and Taoist thought: earth, water, wood, metal, and fire, as well as a few others that my teacher Sana Shanti has kind of thrown in, that are traditional and are often in other traditions like wind or air, and also then kind of into that heaven and universe. And again, the idea here is that we're not just thinking about these qualities, but these qualities of nature are part of us. I actually use this system when I'm looking at somebody and I'm like, oh, this person has a lot of metal. We need to calm down their metal a little bit. You know, they're a little too, they have too many boundaries. They're a little too cutting, kind of thing. And maybe somebody else doesn't have enough, and I kind of want to build up their metal. But we all have these qualities and characteristics of the elements inside of us, and we also have, you know, them in nature all around us as well. So anytime we can connect energetically to both inside and outside these qualities, it can be a really wonderful gift. So just think about, you know, times when you need to be more rooted but flexible, going, okay, I'm going to draw on that energy of wood, or I need some more flow and fluidity in my life, you know, drawing on feeling into the energy of water. Those things are always there for us. So you know, really encourage you to utilize them and tap into them whenever possible. And then the final part of that that practice we did learn last week is really more energetic connections, where we're connecting into gratitude. Because, you know, again, studies have shown that anytime you can feel gratitude, your body reacts physiologically, and it's a very healing, very powerful physiological wash of chemicals through your body. So it's always great to kind of tap into that. That's why people have gratitude practices, because it will actually change the neurobiology and physiology of our bodies. And then the other one is just kind of connecting in really to our core essence, needs, and emotions, because we often don't do that. We kind of, you know, sometimes it's hard to even remember, oh, I need to go to the bathroom, or, oh, I haven't had a drink of water for, you know, 7 hours. We forget some of our most basic needs. And sometimes we need to be reminded of, oh, let's connect in to some core elements here of ourselves, our needs, our emotions, and just remembering that all of that is part of us, whether we label it good or bad. Wholeness, by definition, is the integration of all parts. And so we want to be able to tap in and appreciate ourselves in our wholeness at times, just like with this practice. And then from that wholeness, we can practice expressing outward, connecting with others from that deep core place, and then coming back into that internal storehouse in the lower dantian, or that lower energy center in our pelvis. So that's just a reminder of last week, what we did. We'll flow through it again this week, and hopefully, you know, that feels like a great addition to your life and practice. And I just wanted also to remind you, now that we've gone through everything, um, you know, the what we have learned and what we'll practice today, partially because you may want to, it might stimulate a few questions here. But remembering, though, you know, we've done the balancing and shaking practice, the self-massage, tapping practice. We've done some healing sounds, you know, spontaneous ones, as well as the sound of the Qigong sound of the lungs, that zzz sound. We've connected to the 3 primary energy centers and done that as a practice. And also connecting with those energies in nature, what I just went through, that practice. And then you learned the complete immune boost Qigong form. And those, you know, are 5 exercises or routines that one of my teachers, Leo He, put together, but they can also be done as standalone exercises as well. So you can do it as a routine or do it by itself. And as a reminder, there is a, you know, a link to the video of her doing that form as well in your resource section. So it's a lot of material, lot of tools that I hope you guys will use. So any questions, any thoughts about any of that before we go through it? No questions about how-tos, whys, who done it in the dining room with the candlestick? No. Okay. I don't know where that stuff comes from. Don't ask me. Childhood. All right. Then let's go ahead and all rise. And let's flow through it and just get to experience it all. And if there's questions, kind of save them to the end. So we can just have a nice clean video of the flow through that you can practice with in the future. All right, so I'm again, just a reminder, big advocate for moving energy first. But before we start in on that practice, just taking a moment to come into our bodies and just into more awareness of our bodies through our standing posture. So feeling that uprightness, vertical alignment through your body, through the core of your body, down through your legs, into your feet. So especially feeling how your feet are connecting with the ground, just as a focal point to bring you some of the energy down out of the head. And just taking a moment to notice a couple deep breaths. Noticing that movement in your body as you breathe. And as you exhale on the next one, just allowing yourself to sink in a little bit more. Sit in a little bit more to the earth. Allowing the ankles, the knees, and the hips to have some nice spaciousness through the joints. Allowing nice elongation and lengthening through the back of the spine here, the bottom of the spine. And that puts us in the best place to start our movement. Starting our movement just nice and slow, letting the body get used to that vibration, that bounce. Feel how it feels on your feet. And if it's crunchy in any spot, allowing more space through the joints. And just noticing what your body wants to do tonight. Does it want to stay in small? Does it want to stay in gentle? Or is it ready for some bigger, is it ready for some bigger movement and release? Doesn't matter, there's not one right or wrong, but just simply notice and attune to what makes sense for you. And maybe try a little bit bigger. And then if that doesn't feel good, just go back to small. It's really just tuning in. It's all a process of tuning in to what our needs are in the moment. But really tune in as well to the vibration, because the more we're aware of the vibration, the more the movement of energy happens. So feel again through your whole lower body, from the feet up to the hips. Feel the vibration deep inside the bones. And then notice the vibration more on the outside, around the skin. Notice the vibration and movement through the joints themselves. Just kind of fine-tuning your ability to be more and more aware of specifics and subtleties of your body. Notice the vibration through your hips, through the joints, and also through the low back. And notice it all the way up the spine. Imagining every little vertebrae getting a little tingly tingly massage between each one as you move. All the way up through the head, feel it through the scalp, and then also deeper into the brain. Imagine your brain cells, all those cells, those neurons, kind of getting a little bounce on the trampoline and some movement. Feel it in your face. You can augment it, accentuate it in your face with some movement of the jaw. Wow, down the throat. And we'll augment and accentuate the throat with some sound. Also in the chest in a moment. We'll feel into the chest and the sound will also move through that as well. So let's stick out our tongues, make some sound, the breath, and then just really letting it go. I know it's silly and it's great because it moves all that energy. Feel the energy move around your collarbones, your shoulders, all the way down through the joints of your elbows, wrists, fingers. Feel like there's vibration down all the way through your fingertips. And let's not forget the abdomen with all these organs. Feel the organs bouncing, shaking, moving, getting a little massage. And remembering, check in if there's any place that feels like it's holding emotional stagnation or holding physical stagnation, which is usually is paired together. Often just allow a little bit of tapping there, a little focus there as you bounce, and also any sound. Feel what sound wants to come out of you right now. What is it? It might be high pitched, low pitched, soft, loud. Tune into those sounds. Tune into your body resonating with some sounds. And then we'll start to bring that to a close. Just feeling, again, that nice vertical alignment through your body and the nice tingling from all the movement of the bouncing. Just noticing how that feels. If there's places that are still feeling a little stuck, we'll come back to those. But let's go ahead and kind of give ourselves a full body massage with the tapping, really accentuating, especially the lung health with this. Just immunity and lungs, really a focus of this routine. Getting into the lymph areas, the lymph nodes, as well as the lung energy. And we're going to go down the lung channel, all the way down to the fingertips, and then up the outside to the top of the shoulder. Allowing energy to go down by stimulating that point at the top of the shoulder, and then back to the chest. Great lung points here. Deep breath. Exaggerated. And then again, down the inside of the arm, the lung channel, heart, pericardium, up the triple warmer, large intestine, small intestine on the outside. And then once more. More emphasis, feel the vibration through the lungs. If there's any sadness, sorrow, grief, depression, imagine that kind of being stimulated, broken up so it can be processed through. And then we go emphasize the inside of the elbow here a little bit more. And again, all the way down. Fingers and up. Top of the shoulder. Get all that energy out of the head that might be stuck, or in the shoulder that might be stuck. Side of the neck. Oh, I'm feeling that. More energy there. The trough of the collarbone. And then getting in that lymph nodes above the armpit, into the armpit, and then all the way down to the side of the chest. Feel that into your chest. And again, 2 more times. Up, in, and then down. Feel yourself rest into your feet, even with your hand up. You don't want to pull yourself up. And again, up, in, and down. Nice resonance through the chest. Feel that vibration. And now opposite side, feeling the vibration on the other side, more in the front. Deep breath. Down the inside of the arm. All the way to the fingertips. Up the outside. Ah, nice. And again, great way to clear out the lungs too, with any smoke or any toxins that have been breathed in. Deep breath, feel it vibrate. And again, down, all the way to the fingers. Up the inside, outside, sorry. Top of the shoulder. Last one. Feeling that deep vibration, that deep stimulation, and then down to the the elbow crease. Getting some important points there, a little extra. And down the fingertips. All right, last time we're come up to the top of the shoulder, a little extra emphasis here, extra on the side of the neck, and then those areas around just above the collarbone, that trough. Good important points here, as well as lymph nodes. And again, same thing, armpit. Important points, as well as good stimulation, activation of the lymphatic system. All the way to the side, and then again, above, in, and side. Nice breath here. Once more, above, in, and side. Great. Back to the chest. And then just the side of the breastbone. Really great points here. Part of the kidney channel, the last part of the kidney channel. Great points for the respiratory system. Also for, emotional resonance, emotional issues as well. And then we'll go down, just upper part of the abdomen, a little extra tension here. Feel that again, tune into the resonance, tune into the vibration deep inside, and then we'll go all the way around the abdomen, just imagining all your organs, getting that vibration, a little wake up activation, and then around the waist to the back, right where the rib cage ends, stimulating the kidneys. The adrenals are in this area physically, as well as the kidney energy, a source of our vitality, through the low back and to the sacrum, into the glutes. Great point here for hips, as well as kind of integrating lower body, upper body, and then we'll Gently roll down the spine as we tap the outside and back of the legs, around top of the feet, around the ankles, up the inside. Don't forget a little extra energy here in the groin area. And again, around the hips, glutes, chin is tucked, and we roll down the back of the spine, moving down those channels in the back and the side, coming up the inside channels. 3 channels on the inside, 3 on the back and the outside. Once more, glutes. Really enjoy that as you go down. Tops of the feet, ankles, and up. Chin comes up at the very end. A little bit more here in that inguinal crease. And then let's come up. And a little bit here in the notch between the collarbones. Again, just a little lung stimulation, respiratory system, side of the neck, gently, just great to stimulate the thyroid gland, the throat chakra, the neck, the front of the spine there, the cervical spine, other side. Important spot where things get stuck, right in this area. And then our jaw, make some faces. Yeah, I'll remember to ask you at the end, anybody else's jaw get funny when you're wearing a mask? Mine does. I hold it funny. Good stimulation all the way back towards the ears where the joint is, all the way up at the temples, and then around the eye sockets on the bony structure, stimulating, enlivening, activating vision and eyes. And then let's go through the scalp all the way to the back, and then back to the front, and a little bit more to the side each time. Again, feeling the vibration through the scalp, but also deep inside the brain. Waking up those brain cells. Inviting just more energy through the head overall, around the ears. And then let's tap the back of the head here, just underneath the scalp, underneath the occiput, either side of the spine. There's a little divot on either side. And then top of the head. Feel that vibration all the way down through your feet. Feel your feet on the ground. Good movement all the way through. And then just let that shake off a little bit, and just notice again, any place in your body that needs a little more movement, a little more tapping, a little more sound. Tune into that. Tune into that as a way to stimulate energy flow, which helps with our immunity, helps with our overall health, helps with processing emotions, all of that. So important. So keep getting more and more aware of your own energetic system, your own energetic structure, and how to move it. All right. And we'll just shake that out again. Do 3 releases. Inhale up and then exhale. Really letting go into the earth. Feel that up energy, and then consciously just letting go, dropping in. Once more. Inhale. All right. Great. Movement, movement, movement. Now we'll go right into our 5 routines of the immune boosting Qigong. Again, we want to make sure we're standing with our feet directly under the hips, fully supported by the ground. Left hand palm up, right hand is resting in the left, fingers overlap, thumbs, tips of the thumbs touch. And again, allowing some softening through the legs, through the joints, through the low back, softening through the shoulders and chest, softening through the eyes, even if they're closed, allow the eyes to soften and settle. Just resting into noticing a couple deep conscious breaths. And then we'll start with that first routine, inhaling up, continuing the inhalation as we gather, exhaling down, imagining energy that we've gathered coming down through the center of the body. Coordinating breath and movement, inhale, exhale. Long, slow, smooth breaths. Inhale. Shoulders are relaxed. Enjoy that sense of clean, clear energy coming down and through. 2 more for 5 total. Deep breath and long, slow exhalation. Once more. Really filling your lungs, expanding and releasing. And then we'll go into the second routine, more of the pumping motion. We'll do it 15 times tonight, making sure you do a nice deep breath on the up one and inhalation, exhale down. Here we go with loose fists, and we'll exhale, inhale, firm tap. There's 5. Really pumping your lungs. 5 more. One more. And then letting that go into our bouncing. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, as if you're releasing any toxins, any waste that has been released by the previous 2 movements. You're bringing energy and movement to every cell of the body. Every cell, imagine it is rejuvenating as you vibrate with the bouncing. And then we'll bring that to a close and do the chi, the energy shower, kind of that internal movement of energy with the palms guiding it on the outside of the body. Let's inhale up. Exhale as we come down the back of the body, chin tucked as we go down to the feet. up the inside of the legs, up the torso. Right hand crosses over, coming down the arms, rotating the wrist. Head goes over, touches and activates the spine, and then again. Number 2. Feel that rhythm up and down through the chest and torso, down the arms, wrist activated, middle fingers touch the spine, and again, repeat. Down the outside, up the inside of the legs, torso and chest, right hand crosses over, down the arms, rotate the wrist, and that's 3. Again, enjoying that feel. Imagining your palms are projecting deep inside as you move the energy all the way through the body. Down again. Just a nice caress, following the rhythm. 2 more. Flow of energy going down and then coming up the inside. Flow of energy down the arms to the wrists. Once more, feel that energy deep inside, up the body, down the arms, wrists, activate the spine, and then we come down. We'll go right into our Qigong sound of the lungs as we kind of bend over, cross the wrists. We inhale up and then open up with ha. Feel the lungs really expanded here, just like you've got a big funnel. You can imagine kind of white energy. It's the color of metal, metal being associated with the lungs. Nice few deep breaths as you're in this expanded place gathering. And then the right hand crosses over, fingers touching the thumb. Left hand crosses over, same place, just below the collarbone by the shoulders, those lung points. We're going to inhale and then just releasing anything that's been kind of activated and moved. And remember, little white lights we're visualizing as we again do the sound. Inhale. Little cough to release. We'll do one more. Really try and feel the breath deep front and back of your chest. Inhale. And just another little massage there. Just nice to break up any of that stuck emotional sadness, sorrow, grief as we move through that sound. And then let's come down, back in that diamond mudra position, left hand cradling the right, thumbs touching. And we just close with one final thing, and that's an inhalation with the hands coming up. Exhale as we come down, just letting everything settle. And then we just massage that lower abdomen. Again, as if the hands, the palms are massaging more that lower dantian, or that internal space. Good. And just letting that go. Again, checking in with how you're feeling. And also, we're now going to go into the sequences that are more internal focused. If you want to sit, if anyone's getting tired of standing, feel free. Otherwise, we'll be back in that same position with the feet parallel, directly under the hips for support. And we're going to tune into our primary energetic internal structure here. Just allowing, starting with the palms resting on the lower dantian, or that space in front of it. So the thumbs are about belly button height, but the palms are lower. We're tuning into our most foundational energetic center of the body. It's our grounding rod internally. It's the support structure for all the rest of the torso. So imagine kind of connecting in with the space deep inside, as if your mind, your awareness is kind of taking an elevator down, 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 down to that area. So you can be inhabiting that area with your awareness. Just creating more and more of a relationship, noticing the subtleties of that space. Sensing into that whole pelvic bowl, both front and back, especially back, side to side. Just enlivening that, awakening it with our awareness. That's all we have to do, is just be aware. We can also just invite that area to be a little more relaxed, to soften a little bit more, to settle a little more. And often in doing so, it expands as it softens and relaxes and settles. Expands into a bigger base of support. You can also feel this energy center connected to the ground, to the earth, through the tailbone, through the perineum, through the feet and legs, whatever works for you. Feel that area kind of sit into the support of the ground, the earth. And then we'll invite one palm up to the heart center, middle of the chest, the energetic space there, center of the chest, all the way from the front to the back. Sense that fullness of that space. Again, maybe imagining that you're taking the elevator up a little bit from the lower dantian, to the middle dantian or the heart space, to inhabit it, to explore it, to become more and more familiar with its subtleties. Also allowing it a little invitation to settle and soften and relax, and to rest back into the support of the spine. It doesn't have to push forward into the chest or the breastbone. That area can kind of recline back into the spine and sink down into connection with the lower dantian. So they can operate and be as one unit. And then we'll imagine our little elevator getting in it from the heart center, traveling up the front of the spine to the middle of the head. Being in that space, kind of deep from where the ears are. Inviting that space to soften and settle and relax. In doing so, maybe it senses a little more expansion. Inviting it to connect in down below to the support of the middle dantian and lower dantian, even as the upper dantian connects to the heavens above. Like it's beaming up into the stars. Maybe the column of light from the stars coming down through the head, down through these three energetic centers into deep, deep into the earth. Sensing that beautiful, energetic, vertical core in your body. The strength of it, the power of it. Feeling it connected to heaven and earth. And then we'll allow that energetic core structure to also kind of rest into some of the elements. Allowing the hands to come down, the palms. So we start out with the first element, earth. Just sensing into a little connection with the resonance and qualities and gifts of earth. That solidity and stability and solid foundation under us, support. Feel that under you, but also resonate through your body. Imagine earth coming through you, being a part of you. And then we'll release that, the palms coming up just a tad bit, and then sensing into the element of water. Again, that flow and fluidity of water, that ability to move around obstacles, to be strong, to be still. Feel that around you and inside of you. Those gifts of water. How might you utilize those gifts in your daily life? And then we'll release again, palms coming up a little bit more and facing one another as we feel into a connection with the wood element, or trees. Imagining ourselves with deep roots that expand both down and out, nourishing us from below, our deep coming up into our strong trunks, into our branches that expand out and up and are so flexible even as they're rooted. Feel into that flexibility of a tree around you, inside of you, the ability of the tree to be grounded and rooted and expand in all directions. Sensing how those gifts might be applicable in your life. And then we'll release with the hands coming up slightly as we contemplate and feel into the gifts of the wind element. That wind that brings about movement and change, freedom, ethereal quality of wind. Feel that moving through you. And again, noting where that might be a wonderful gift to call on. And then releasing this time, the fingertips coming more together as if we were mountains, symbolizing and feeling into the metal element. Sensing our large foundations and the peaks that cut up through the clouds, high above, enabling more higher vision, boundaries, clarity, resoluteness. Sense into that in your body, around your body and being, noticing how that may manifest in your life. And then finally opening up to the last element, that of fire. Feeling fire's benevolent qualities of warmth and light, but also its destruction that it can bring about, that then leads to regeneration and transformation. Sensing the gifts of fire inside you and around you. Sensing into how those might be gifts in your life. And then finally we'll reach out more as we sit into the earth, shoulders heavy, elbows heavy, but fingers and wrists stretching out as if to touch the night sky, moon and stars and the heavens. And then even further, sensing into connection with the universe as a whole. That big picture, that magic and mystery, that pure potential, that expansion, that space. We are a part of that. And imagine as your hands come in, just really bathing and activating that within you, in the mind and the spirit, that universal energy through your heart and through your body as a whole, all the way through. And then circling back up, shoulders still relaxed. Just one more feel into that big expansion of sense of connection. We are a part of this universe, and the universe is a part of us. We are one with the universe on a certain level. And then allowing that to come in as your fingertips begin to touch, coming into prayer position. Palms also resting together at the heart center, and feel the strength in this position, the strength of the hands supporting one another in the heart center. Just as we come together to support one another with this practice, how the practice supports us. And also feeling into the support of gratitude. Gratitude for something, for nothing, or maybe for something we totally take for granted in our lives daily. Even the gratitude for being able to be here, connected on this call. Sense that flowing through your body in a wash. And then allowing the palms to rotate and rest in deeper to the heart center. We allow for a moment of deep, deep recognition and acknowledgement of our core essence, our core beings, of who we are, emotions and needs, accepting and recognizing our wholeness at a deep level. And after you've sensed into that, allowing that deep wholeness a chance to expand out, still connected deeply within, but also being able to connect out with others. However far is right for you, arms might go a little bit or a lot, but feel yourself giving and receiving as if your hands were connected deep into that heart space, that soul space. Feeling the unity, feeling the connection with all. And then allowing the palms to return back to our body's energetic home in the lower dantian, lower abdomen. Allowing this area again to be our foundation. We can rest into it. Sensing it being nice and full and active with the breath. And then taking a moment to feel its connection up through the energetic vertical core of the body, the heart center, the center of the head. Tapping into that beautiful structure, energetic support structure we all have. And then I'll invite you just to begin to open your eyes and move a little bit, but again with an awareness of that deep internal structure, not allowing yourself to get drawn out of awareness of your body by the external world, but still being able to stay in connection with that internal space. As if your eyes are allowing the vision, allowing the visual field to kind of come in. You don't have to go out to it. You're allowing whatever's in your visual field to come in and be connected to that energetic core. Okay, and with that, staying in that space, we'll also just massage the hands, the palms together, just stimulating the yin and the yang energy from the palms, massaging the face, still feeling the internal core, massaging especially around the nose, which helps the lung energy, helps the sinuses. Oh. And we can shake that off. And then just a nice massage through the scalp at the fingertips or fingernails. Still feeling your feet on the ground. And massaging the ears with the thumb and the fingers. Tons of little acupuncture points in the ears, kind of like a whole body massage. And just shaking that out. Whew. All right. And just once more, let's just go back to simply noticing. Noticing how you're feeling on a physical level, emotionally, mentally, on a spirit level. Just checking in. And then we'll come back to the group with a little discussion. Don't leave your body. And always a fun hairdo as a result. Okay. So, any comments, questions, thoughts, anything come up from that flow through of the practice? What the heck's she doing there kind of stuff? Everybody got it? Okay. Well, I want to then just talk a little bit about kind of application and integration, because it's so important. You know, again, Qigong isn't magical, it doesn't have all these great health benefits just because you know it in your head and you've done it once. It's really more integrating and doing it. And that said, it's not like you have to do a big routine to reap the benefits. So some of the ways that I practice is with the bouncing and shaking. I will do it first thing in the morning, waiting for my tea water to heat up. I'll just sit there and bounce a little bit and shake, because it's such a great way to wake up your system in the morning. It's a great way to get the lymphatic system moving, which in me is real important. Mine seems to be a little sluggish. So you can do that very simply while you're just like waiting for something. It's also, you know, a great thing to do throughout the day if you're sitting, or even if you're just standing still. Anytime you're kind of sitting or standing still, get up and shake, even just for 1 minute. And especially, again, if you're experiencing any frustration, anger, irritability, this is a great thing to do, and especially with the sound. Stick out your tongue, make some noises, growl, and shake whenever you're irritated at somebody. not necessarily at them. Don't shake and growl at them, but you know, it really kind of resets the emotional system. It's a great thing to do. I tell, like, you know, high-powered executives to do this all the time. Just go in the bathroom, shake and make some noise when nobody's in there. So it's great for those who are dealing with a lot of employees too. Um, so that's one thing. Now, the tapping, it's interesting. The first time I taught this class, you know, I had like almost 40 people signed up, and almost unanimously, everyone said the tapping, the Qigong self-massage is what they thought they would practice on their own. That's what they liked the most. So, you know, if you find like one thing that's like, yes, this is really great, this is what I love to do, just focus on that. You don't have to do all of them. But if you can, if you really like the tapping, do that. And don't even have to do the whole routine every time. You can just do certain points. I'll be driving down the highway and I'll be often just tapping with one hand on my chest, especially if I'm having any lung issues. There's smoke out. I've been doing harvesting and I've inhaled a lot of dust, that kind of stuff. I'll just do this quite a bit. And I might do the Qigong sound, the zzz, as I'm doing it. And I might make faces and make noises too as I do it. And so really find ways to just integrate things in. You don't have to do it all at once, but whatever you can do that really helps a certain, you know, a certain condition or a certain thing you're dealing with, that's great. Again, then we did the whole Qigong routine for immunity. Again, it's great as a whole routine. It only takes about, I think, 8 minutes. But if you don't have time to do it as a routine, do one or two of them. You know, maybe the first two where you get some good lung action with those long, slow breaths, and then a whole different lung action with the pumping. You can definitely tailor it to what you like and what you want to do. Same thing with the three dantian, that internal practice. You can do it laying in bed, falling asleep. You don't have to do it standing or sitting. You can focus on just your lower dantian as you're falling asleep, because that is a great, great way to focus your mind as you're falling asleep. So another thing, if you find yourself thinking too much and worrying about something, sometimes I will just go, okay, head, we're going to invite all that down to the lower dantian. And maybe I'll do that 3 times and be like, whoo, down to the lower dantian, down to the lower dantian. And then I kind of hang out with my awareness down there. And it really helps curb that, like, you know, what's that called? That thinking, you know what thinking I'm talking about. There's an adjective I can't think of, but
Rumination.
rumination. Thank you. Yes. So play with those in any way you'd like. Same thing with the elements. You know, you don't have to go on the full nature walk. You might be like, wow, I feel really ungrounded right now. Okay, well, let's call in earth energy and feel into earth energy. Let's just call in gratitude right now and feel into that. So really cut, paste, you know, make it yours. You know, whenever, wherever, however in your day is really my take home message. So any thoughts or, you know, things, any ways that you think, oh, I think I might practice it this way, or I can see I might integrate it that way. Go ahead, Stephanie.
I'm really excited about this, and I love that you said it's okay to take and pick and choose, because I intuitively did that. And I recently found out that you know, I'm a cancer thriver, and I recently found out that there's a correlation between lower body temperature and cancer incidence. And so I have run at 97 degrees, and just today I was temped at 96 something. And then, so yesterday I was on a walk and I had this sense to do some Qigong, and within 10 minutes, I raised my body temperature. And I was like, I am going to be raising my body temperature every day, just doing 10 minutes of Qigong. I mean, it seems so simple and yet such an amazing hack.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes just breath work can raise your body temperature as well. Definitely. Well, wonderful. Thank you. Any other thoughts, Kate or Tara, about how you can see yourself working with some of this throughout your day? Tara?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I like that you mentioned, I do some bouncing when I'm waiting for my tea to boil, or different thing, when you're in the car, because I guess I was trying to figure out, like, do I just do it all in the morning, and then I don't know, sometimes I can be really rigid like that with myself, where I'm like, it's a routine, I must do it. But I like that idea of like breaking it up, because when I get into those really rigid thought patterns, then sometimes I just don't do it, honestly, because I'm like, well, I don't have time, or yeah. So I like that. And then I think just like bringing in those elements of like trying to be more fluid, like remembering, like you were saying, like water. I just kind of pictured like water, like trickling down a stream and kind of going around a rock and then meeting again. And so it's just, because like the reason why I started doing this class with you is because I've been so anxious. And I have to tell you, like, even though I still have spikes and stuff, like overall, I feel like my baseline has settled so much.
Aww.
So I just, overall, this has been really great for me. And yeah, I just wanted to thank you.
Well, thank you, dear. I'm really glad to hear that. And yes, I give you full permission not to have to do a full routine.
Okay.
And I also give you permission to, do the whole routine some days too, when that feels like it's the right thing. So absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anything, Kate, as we wrap up? Oh, we may not be able to hear you. That's right. Let me try. You can't unmute yourself. Oh, well. Now you're unmuted, but can we hear you? No. Darn it, Kate. Oh, well. That silly mutedness of here. But anyway, well, Kate, thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. And it sounds like everyone got some takeaways, and that's really what's important, is just taking away what makes sense to you, kind of playing with it, making it yours, and just small things like this can really impact your health. And I will say, I didn't mention, last Thursday, I was out harvesting some stuff and really felt my lungs kind of from dust and stuff. And after I did the Qigong with you guys that Thursday night, my lungs felt totally clear and happy. So, I was really feeling it and benefiting from it along with you. So thank you all. And like I said, I hope to see you if you want, on Monday. You have the information for that practice, and if not, Monday in future classes. So thank you very much. And to have a happy rest of your fall and keep those lungs and immunity happy. So all right. Mwah. Blessings to everybody. Good night.